heureux qui, comme Ulysse, a fait un beau voyage, ou comme celui-là qui conquit la toison, et puis est retourné plein d'usage et raison, vivre entre ses parents le reste de son âge.
Look at all them horrible cars. Yeah. Wonder what's in them and where they're going.
Quand reverrai-je, hélas, de mon petit village, fumer la cheminée? Et en quelle saison reverrai-je le clos de ma pauvre maison?
Gentlemen, you would come with us. Let us take a tour.
To write a letter and look forward to a reply. Public Relations Director receives daily
Mon enfant, ma
inquiries
sœur,
concerning
songe à la douceur d'aller là-bas vivre ensemble. Aimer à loisir, aimer et mourir au pays qui te ressemble.
registers all visitors and makes special arrangements when boys like Brad and Greg
Des meubles luisants, polis par les ans, décoreraient notre chambre. Les plus rares fleurs, mêlant leurs odeurs aux vagues senteurs de l'ambre. Les riches plafonds, les miroirs profonds, la splendeur orientale, tout y parlerait à l'âme en secret, sa douce langue natale. Les soleils couchants revêtent les champs, les canaux, la ville entière d'hyacinthe et d'or. Le monde s'endort dans une chaude lumière. Là, tout n'est qu'ordre et beauté, luxe, calme et volupté.
It's not a job with much glamour to it. You're by yourself a lot, and sometimes you get to wondering. Here tonight, clean the student. Whether it's going to get dirty again. But you can also take the viewpoint that the students and faculty are here for a purpose. And the reason that you're here is because they're here. And so you try to do a good job because you know it helps them do theirs better.
Just something that you can go out on the street and pick up a man and he can do it. But it isn't. Just everybody can't janitor. Now we get men that are good men in their line, but they just can't janitor. I shouldn't say complicated, but it's getting to be more a particular job now than it ever.
When you say janitor, you think of a man who just comes in and sweeps the floor and empties the waste baskets, but there's a lot more to as janitor work for men. You have to get along with men.
We know that software companies beta test their serious business programs, but what about game software? How do they work the bugs out of those? Well, in rooms just like this one, here at TBI Software in Foster City, California, where designers and testers bang away at keyboards, joysticks, and mice to make sure the games work just right. Indeed, the R&D that goes into game design is often just as complicated as the work that goes into a serious business program. Today, we continue our two-part look at game software on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by CompuServe, featuring an online reference library, Wall Street reports, at-home shopping, airline reservations, games, and hundreds of other services. CompuServe, helping people get the most from computers. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover developments in computer technology worldwide.
Whoa! I'm Stuart Chaffee, and my opponent over here is Gary Kildall. We're playing an incredible game called Falcon. We're each flying our own F-16s. These two PCs are connected by the communications ports so that I see Gary on my screen, he sees my plane on his screen. This also, Gary, has a black box of flight recorder in here so that when I crash, as I always do, I can go back and look at the flight recorder, see what I did, and see what kind of mistake I made. These games are so sophisticated, but some parents, I think, worry that maybe their kids spend too much time playing computer games. What do you think?
Well, the games can be very, very educational. For example, it may be the kid's first introduction to a computer, pushing the buttons, running a mouse around, things like that. There are obvious things like hand-eye coordination is a very important thing to learn. Things like problem solving through tactics and strategies that help them win the game, things of that sort. Also, the games themselves, asteroids. So you remember asteroids? As the rocks flying through space, the kids would learn about gravitational effects, sort of hands-on physics in a sense. Flight simulators, learn about flying. But, you know, I've got hands-on experience at home that tells me the kids can't OD on these things, though, too.
Gary, we're going to take a look at some of the hottest new games for two machines, the Macintosh and the IBM PC. Among them, Chuck Yeager's Advanced Flight Trainer, a helicopter simulation called Apache Strike, and one heck of a golf game called Mean 18. Now, as Gary said, computer games can be educational. We're going to start out by going to a school where a teacher is using computer games to teach her children.
Educational software has come a long way since the first math and spelling drills found their way into elementary schools. Teachers now have a choice of role-playing adventure games that both entertain and teach. At the Crocker Middle School near San Francisco, teacher Donna Hauer uses a game called The Other Side that simulates international conflicts.
We do a lot of different kinds of problem-solving strategies. And some of the goals of the class are to learn how to negotiate, to learn how to work in a cooperative group and make decisions together. Another one is to be able to organize your information and extrapolate information from that information once you've got it organized. And this game is a nice setting for that.
Each team of 4 students tries to build a bridge to the other team's country and must compete for the needed resources and money. Players divide their time between the computer and a conference table where they plan strategy and review their progress.
I found in my years of teaching that the students want to be put in a situation where they're acting something out, where they actually have to do these sort of things, and there's some sort of reward, just like there is for you and I when we negotiate. There's a reward, there's a carrot at the end of our negotiation. And living it is a better teacher than reading about it and reciting facts.
Donna Howard's students may not be ready for the State Department, but their class game seems to be having an effect. During the recent Reagan-Gorbachev summit, they discussed the likely strategies used by the two sides. Not bad for a group of kids in their early teens.
Joining us in the studio now is Peter Merrill of PBI Software. Peter created the game Strategic Conquest. Next to Peter, Eric Zocker of Silicon Beach Software.
Peter, we talked about kids getting all hung up on computer games. Is your game any different?
Oh, very definitely. This is a game that adults really like to play.
What's the idea?
Well, it's a strategy war game, and over here I've got the map. The white represents water, the gray represents land. The black is an area that we don't know anything about. We would find out about it by moving some of our pieces into the black area. It would then become visible.
So this is not really the Earth. This is a mythical.
It's it's a game that we generate with a random number generator.
Okay.
In here now, in this current game that I've been playing, I own 4 islands here.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy owns these 2 islands right here.
Mm-hmm.
My strategy is to conquer this island. To do that, I've loaded troop transports with troops, and I've dumped them off up here.
Mm-hmm.
This creates a lot of confusion and draws him over here. In the meantime, I've loaded up a whole bunch more troop transports and dumped them off all along here.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to go to the next screen and we'll see the details of that. This is the screen that you normally use when playing the game. This is the island we're trying to capture. My smoke screen was up here. The computer, for demonstration purposes, is playing my side. And you've got things like an aircraft carrier right here. These are jets flying around. You can hear the sounds of the jets as they move.
So would you normally be moving these jets with a point and click?
Yeah, exactly. You point and click like this. Down here we've got cities, and these light pieces are my pieces, the dark pieces are the enemy pieces. And these armies are now going in and trying to capture these cities.
It says you just captured
your city. So the key to the game is capturing cities, because cities make more pieces. The more cities you capture, the more you
manufacture more weapons, etc.
The more you have, the more powerful you are.
Okay, Peter, what is the bottom line object of the game now?
Well, what you have to do is capture all the cities, and that lets you win the world.
You want to conquer the world, that's the point,
exactly
like any good game.
That's exactly right.
Peter, I'm going to ask you to get your program out of there and load up the next one. I want to talk to Eric for just a second. You have 2 games you're going to show us, and the first one is called Beyond Dark Castle, which you describe as kind of interactive cartoon, which is a great phrase. Tell me what you mean by that.
By that I mean it's like a cartoon experience in that you control the actions of the main character on the screen. There's a lot of detailed animation and cartoon-like digitized soundtrack that makes it a lot like a cartoon for the people that are watching you play.
Okay, I'm interesting. Let's see it.
Okay, let's show it.
We're in the game's practice mode in the middle of the swamp, which is one of the 14 rooms, and I'll go ahead and pick it up. There's a flaming eye that I have to destroy before he destroys me.
What are your weapons there?
I'm throwing rocks right now, but there in one of the other rooms there's a special spell I can acquire from a wizard to have fireball capability instead of rocks.
This is not Strategic Conquest.
No. No,
okay, and you're trying to get to the end to get
one of the magic orbs that I need to win the game. I just gave myself some gas. I'm in the practice mode, so I can do that.
Your little helicopter.
At the end of this swamp, there's a guard shack where one of the 5 magic orbs is stored.
Okay, this little guy's flying with his little private little helicopter thing, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay.
And I believe we're almost there. There we are.
All right.
And I'll just stow my chopper back here.
The detail.
Pick the mace up.
Okay, you got to beat
Got him.
Up.
I've taken care of dispatch the guard now. And now I'll go up and claim the orb.
Okay.
And all I need to do now is fly back out and place it on the pedestal in the anteroom, and then go get the other 4.
All right, I guess that's a pretty good description, an interactive cartoon. That's really pretty neat. I want to ask you about the other game you have here now, which is called Apache Strike. And you fly a helicopter, but it's not really a helicopter simulation, is it?
No, it's not really. It's an action fantasy is what I would call it. The real objective that we had in designing Apache Strike was to get a real good action feel and really get your pulse pounding.
Okay, get my pulse pounding here.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start it up. I'm going to start on level 20, where there's quite a bit of action.
All right, what's happening here?
All systems go.
I'm flying the helicopter now using the mouse, and that's one of the enemy helicopters. And these are skyscrapers that I'm flying through. And
where are you headed?
I'm trying to find the strategic defense computer. That gauge on the right-hand side of the screen, ouch, is the bearing and distance to the strategic defense computer. Now I'm 47 blocks away.
And we just see that screen cracked in the right. What happened there?
That's my radar screen, which is normally very useful to have, but as you can see, this program will let parts of your equipment get damaged, which adds to the challenge on the more difficult levels.
You just have to know where you're going, right?
That's right. And now I'll try and get this tank.
Okay, what's the voice we hear?
That's Linda, the lifelike inboard narrative damage assessment computer. And that's actually the digitized voice of, oops, one of Silicon Beach's programmers.
We're asking you to talk and fly a chopper at the same time. I realize that's difficult. Okay, so you're trying to track down this, what here?
Strategic defense computer. It's the central computer controlling the city's defenses. And the mission at each level is to fly through the enemy's defenses to the center of the city and then destroy the strategic defense computer.
You mentioned you're playing at level 20. How many levels are there in this game?
You can go up indefinitely. We've got 500 levels programmed in.
Do you think anybody will ever get there?
I hope so. You can start on level 120 or 40. I'm getting real close now. Hopefully soon Linda will say SBC sighted and we'll know.
How do you know you're getting close from?
Enemy behind.
Oh boy. Ouch. Oh.
Actually, smooth operation, the smooth pitch move looks really, really good. Very compensating.
What this is 3D animation with hidden surface removal, and the enemies are also have surfaces removed and are shaded. Bill Appleton's, the programmer, has achieved quite a feat here to get 20 frames of that happening per second. It makes the game really smooth.
What's the next step? What's the next technology thing that's going to make games even better than that?
There's a new technology on the horizon called compact disc interactive. It's actually a home entertainment type of technology, and I think that has the possibility to introduce video and a lot of interesting possibilities.
What are the projections on the next one as far as consumer products?
I think maybe end of 1988 is what I'm hearing, and the CDI player actually connects to the stereo and the television. And
you're actively working on that now?
Yes. Yeah.
Peter, real quick, what's next?
With faster computers, more AI, and you just never know what's around the corner.
Okay, Gary and I were playing Falcon against each other at the beginning of the program here in the same room. Nowadays, you can actually play a real-time computer game against an opponent anywhere in the country. Wendy Woods tells us how.
This is the Island of Kismai, a Dungeons and Dragons type of game, and Michael Orkin, a statistician who's designed and played his share of games, is playing it for the first time with two other people 2,000 miles away in real time via the CompuServe network. This is an example of what's called a multi-user game. Several people can be online playing any one game simultaneously. They're not your arcade-type games with stunning graphics. Their visual display consists of the basic characters that can be sent across the phone lines to all types of computers. Angle brackets, carrots, dashes, and dollar signs represent doors, altars, or treasure, for instance. But graphics are not the selling point for multi-user games.
It's different. It's kind of fun to do it this way. And if you're playing it by yourself, of course, you can just sort of fool around and do everything the way you want to do it. If you're doing it with a few other people, then they want to be doing things their way. And so you might, in fact, that's kind of fun too, I guess, if you get in conflicts with the people that you're playing the game with.
Imagination is a big part of the appeal of these games. Players can take on identities of their alter egos. Getting hooked on a game like this can be expensive, but there are plenty of people willing to make that investment, or CompuServe wouldn't be planning to offer even more than the 30 games online now in the near future. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Wendy Woods.
Joining us in the studio now is Ned Lerner, the creator and designer of Chuck Yeager's Advanced Flight Trainer. And next to Ned is John Carell, one of the developers of a golf game called Mean 18.
Ned, you talk about your program as being a flight trainer rather than flight simulator. What's the difference?
This program has a more emphasis on flight instruction than previous programs. It has a flight instruction sequence designed by a professional flight instructor.
Okay, so let's take a look at it.
Okay. I'm going to start off flying in an F-18 Hornet, and I start off in a hangar, and give myself some power and start paying attention to the program.
This is a kind of neutral airfield. You're going to talk a little bit more, right? This is not Egypt, we're saying pyramids.
Yeah, this is a fantasy landscape. It's like Egypt or Nellis Air Force Base. And it's just a good place to fly airplanes, not much around, and nobody gets hurt.
You're obviously not in a Cessna here. You can tell.
This plane is wonderful handling and extremely good acceleration. I'm going to come back and buzz the runway here. See if I can.
You really get the effect into it.
Yeah, I might as well take it in.
Oh, and there's Chuck Yeager.
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you do?
I hit the ground.
Okay.
His pretty face.
What else can you show us on this? Got formation flying, I think, where you fly along with Chuck?
Yeah, I can
show us that.
There's 4 different modes of the program. One's formation flying, and it's, again...
oh, you're right behind him there.
Yeah. You try to stay as close as you can, and the trick is to watch his wings and follow the way they're banked, and to keep them in your screen, too.
And try and concentrate and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned you have 100 hours on this game, right? Yeah, the flight simulator.
That brings up the point is, how much does it help someone really learn to fly? Serves as a trainer?
It does a good job. If you don't know much about flying, you learn a lot about the way the plane handles, and you also learn how all the instruments work. And I think it might save you 50 hours of classroom time or something. So,
Ned, what role, if any, did Chuck Yeager actually play in the design of this?
Chuck Yeager is the world's most famous pilot, and he is one reason he knows almost everything there is to know about flying. He's an expert on airplanes, and he helped us pick the airplanes we're using for the program. He also is an expert in aircraft training, and he helped us set that up.
Ned, you're flying an F-18, you have an SR-71 in there. What else do you simulate?
We simulate a wide variety of planes, everything from World War I spas and Sopwith Camos to experimental test planes and the X-1, World War II craft, pretty much everything you'd want to try.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And that's why SR-71, you can just fly up into space.
You can fly up to space and lose...
Pull around up there.
You don't have any control anymore. There's no more air. But
John, I can understand the flight simulator. How do you simulate golf on a computer? That seems harder to imagine.
Well, it's actually probably a little easier than what Ned did with his program. Ours doesn't require quite as much concentration to play, so hopefully I'll be able to describe it as we play along. What we tried to do was to provide the user with 3-dimensional view, and as I get into the game, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little easier to show than it is to describe.
Okay.
Before you get actually started with the plane, you have the option of going to the practice tee, as you see here, practicing your driving, going to practice screen, or practicing your putting, practice any one of the 18 holes, or begin the game. And we're going to begin the game here. What we're going to do is we're going to resume a game and play that I actually started on Pebble Beach, which is one of the courses that comes with it. Here you see an overview of Pebble Beach, the 18th hole, and as you can see, the regulation tees are 533 yards, pro tees are 543 yards. We're playing from the pro tees.
And it's par 5.
And it's a par 5. The computer, as you can see down at the text portion of the screen, is recommending a driver based on the distance that I have left to the hole. If you ever get stuck, you can also press escape at any time, and that will remind you of all of the various key commands that you need in order to play. But basically, in order to do an entire stroke, it requires only 3 taps of the space bar. The first one will start my backswing, the second one will start my downswing, and the third one is actually the most crucial timing crucial as far as timing goes for determining whether I'm going to hit the ball straight or hook, which means go to the left, slice, go to the right. So here I'm going to go. I'm going to tap it right now to start, tap it again, tap it again. So I was a little bit late, which means the ball is going to slice ever so slightly to the right.
So there really is some physical coordination you've got to do here in terms of the timing of
That's right.
stroke. But you're hitting the space bar 3 times.
Right. So it's simple keyboard input, which makes it easy to learn for people, but at the same time it does require some critical timing, which will give people some challenge over the course of playing the game. Now we find ourselves at the position where I hit the ball, and I have 294 yards left to the hole. The computer is recommending the 3-wood because that's the club that will give me the maximum distance. So I'm going to try hitting it again. Again, it's 3 taps of the space bar, once, twice, 3 times. And again, I hit it a little bit late, which means I'm slicing to the right. You can see the ball traveling down there. And it looks like I might end up behind the tree. And by the way, there actually is a tree there on the 18th hole at Double Beach.
So that's the real course.
Right. Okay. Now I'm going to do something here a little different. We're going to go back to that original overhead view, and the computer is going to trace out where I just hit my last 2 shots. Yep, we're right behind the tree. Okay, so what I need to do then is aim a little bit. And I'm going to aim by pressing the left cursor key.
Looks like cheating to me.
So we're going to aim by pressing the left cursor key. Again, I can aim again to the right, and if I wanted to, I can go on a complete 360-degree rotation. The computer is recommending the pitching wedge, which gives me a total maximum distance of about 100 yards. So I'm going to hit it about 70% of the club's rate of power. And again, it requires 3 taps.
And how do you do that? You said you're going to hit it 70.
Right. The power bar that's on the left-hand portion of the screen goes from 0 to 100%. So I'm going to stop it at about 70%, which is about the 7th white mark that you see up there on the screen. Hopefully, I can do that. Here we go. And I intentionally sliced it a little bit because I had to aim to the left of the holes.
Whoa! Looked pretty good.
Good. So we're on in 3.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to an overhead of the green. It will show me where my ball is in relationship to the hole. If there were other people playing, it would show the rest of the players' balls.
I don't want to rush your game, but you got 30 seconds to make this.
Great. 28 feet. If I needed to aim, I would move the cursor key up and down. And it looks like I have a straight shot in. My power bar on the left is now in increments of 8 feet, so I need to hit it about 3.5. Oh, I hit it.
Oh, sorry, that was pretty close. So you got one more shot to anyhow.
Okay, well, we'll finish it up. And I still ended up...
All right.
I still ended up with a birdie. Now, there's my scorecard.
Now, you've got 4 built-in courses in Mean 18. You can actually design your own course, though, can't you?
That's right, because Mean 18 comes with a course architect that allows people to either modify an existing course or to create an entirely new one.
And as a golfer, do you find it satisfying to play the game that way?
I find it very simple, and people who don't even really play golf also enjoy playing it.
Well, 2 interesting simulations. Thanks, Ned. Thanks, John. That's it for our look at games. Hope we'll see you again next week here on the Computer Chronicles.
File this week, CPUs in the news. First of all, Intel has introduced a new 386SS microprocessor. It features 386 32-bit software compatibility, but with a slower 16-bit bus. The 386SX will be about 30% cheaper than the regular 386 chip, and it's about half the size. The 386SS will run at 16 megahertz. Meanwhile, at the Microelectronics Center in North Carolina, researchers have built a super chip called a Blitzen. It has 1.1 million transistors on a chip 1 centimeter square. It is described as a massive parallel processor and one of the most complex logic chips ever built. And at Gazelle Microcircuits in Santa Clara, California, a breakthrough in gallium arsenide chip, which doesn't require special circuitry or power, and so can be used in a socket designed for a silicone chip. Researchers say the new gallium arsenide chips only cost around $50 each and can increase processing speed by more than 25%. Digital research is trying to bounce back into the DOS world with a new operating system called DR-DOS. DRI says it's fully compatible with MS-DOS 3.3 and has some features MS-DOS doesn't have. DRI reportedly will start by selling DR-DOS in ROM on an OEM basis with a price half of that of Microsoft Macintosh MS-DOS. Compaq has come out with 2 new computers. One is a faster 25 megahertz version of its Desk Pro 386. The new 386-25 is reported to be up to 60% faster than IBM's new PS2 Model 70. The other new Compaq is the 386S, which is the first computer built around Intel's new 386SX chip. Time now for this week's software review. Here's Paul Schindler.
No, I'm not into nostalgia for bad movies from the 50s. I'm ready to read this 3D comic book that comes with one of the most famous text games of all, Leather Goddesses of Phobos, now available in a new version on the Macintosh. Infocom, the company responsible for this wildly funny and mildly scatological adventure, also wrote Zork, another popular text adventure. In addition to the software, you get the aforesaid 3D comic book. You also get a sheet of scratch and sniff squares marked under penalty of unspeakable painful death at the hands of the Letter Goddesses of Photos. Do not scratch and sniff until the story tells you to do so. And, shades of your youth, you get an invisible clue book in which you use a really magic marker to make the clues appear. Now, there's not much to show in a text game, except we can show you their sense of humor. There are 3 flavors, tame, suggestive, and lewd. To get lewd, you must be over 21. If you say you're 13 and then change your mind and say you're 21, it responds like this. Leather Goddesses of Phobos, $50 for the Macintosh, for the hard to offend, from Infocom in Cambridge, Massachusetts. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
IBM has confirmed that it is developing a trade-in program to encourage owners of PCs, XTs, and ATs to trade up to a PS2. Analysts are saying IBM is also hoping to speed up the acceptance of the PS2 as the new DOS standard. The magazine Macintosh Today is reporting that Apple will be coming out with 4 new Macs within the next 18 months. The magazine says there will be a laptop Mac, a 3-slot Mac, a color SE, and a multi-user Mac called the Tower that will feature a floor-standing CPU. Finally, get ready to hook up your car phone to a fax machine. NEC says it will be coming out with a portable fax machine that can run on 12 volts and can receive or send documents over cellular phones. The price is $2,400 and throughout this fall. That's it for Random Access. I'm Cynthia Steele.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by CompuServe, featuring an online reference library, Wall Street reports, at-home shopping, airline reservations, games, and hundreds of other services. CompuServe, helping people get the most from computers. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover developments in computer technology worldwide.
For a transcript of this week's Computer Chronicles, send $3 to PTP Publications, Post Office Box 701, Kent, Ohio 44240. Please indicate program date.
Roaches are one of the oldest insects, having lived in the days of the dinosaur. Fortunately for us, the size of our roach today is extremely small compared with his ancestors. Roaches of the days of the dinosaur were several feet long. Today, some roaches found in the tropics grow 3 or 4 times larger than our common American cockroach. The true home of the roach is outdoors, beneath the bark of trees and under rocks. This has resulted in their bodies, heads, and legs becoming flattened, allowing them to hide in small cracks and crevices. There are about 2,000 different kinds of roaches, but only 4 have adapted to life indoors. The largest of these is the American roach. Adults may be from 1.5 to 2 inches long, reddish brown to dark brown in color. The oriental cockroach, sometimes called black beetle because of their short wings, heavy body, and dark color, are slightly smaller than their American cousin. The brown-banded roach is the smallest of our 4 kinds and brightest in color. They like high places, such as the ceiling and upper cabinets in a kitchen. This makes them a little harder to control. The German roach is the most common and is often called croton bug or water bug. Adults are slightly larger than the brown-banded, but are still less than 1 inch long and light brown in color. Here are all 4 together. Left to right, the American, oriental, brown-banded, and the German. Roaches may come into a home several different ways. Sewers or basement drains are one of the most common. They can also enter through any openings in the walls, such as around electrical conduits or plumbing, or through cracks in the baseboards, or under doors. Roaches can be carried into a home in laundry packages or in boxes of groceries. All packages which might possibly contain roaches should be examined carefully. If an adult carrying an egg capsule gets away, a population of roaches is likely to develop. The capsule, which may contain as many as 48 eggs, is deposited in a hidden location. When the eggs develop into young roaches, they push open the capsule to emerge. These young nymphs are extremely active and will begin to search for food immediately. A few days later, the young roaches turn to a yellowish-brown color. Still in the nymph stage, these roaches are almost grown but have not yet developed wings. Wings are present only on adults. After several generations, a large colony will develop, creating a very unpleasant odor in the house. Roaches destroy food, damage fabrics, books, and other materials. By polluting food over which they run, they spread filth and may carry diseases. When roach populations build up, their presence is easily noted by roach spots in places where they congregate, such as in cabinets, drawers, and behind pictures. Roaches hide during the day in sheltered, dark places. At night, they come out in search of food and water. A good way to find roaches is to enter a dark room quietly, snap on the lights, and watch where they run to hide. They may be found in cracks in the baseboard, around water pipes underneath the sink, behind cabinets, or any other place they can hide from the light. Scientists have worked for years developing insecticides to control roaches. DDT proved fairly effective, but later another chemical, chlordane, was developed, and today it is considered to be one of the most effective insecticides for roach control. Chlordane is available in liquid or powder form. For home use, it should be purchased as a 2 to 3% oil-based spray or as a 5 to 6% dust. Read the label of any insecticide you purchase to make sure it contains the proper amount of the active chemical. A single treatment of chlordane applied correctly leaves an invisible film which gives protection for several weeks. For most effective results, the material should be applied to all secluded places and cracks so that no matter where the roach tries to hide, he will come in contact with the residue. Special attention should be given to baseboards. The area under the sink should be treated carefully, as it is a favorite hiding spot for roaches. Especially around the water pipes where roaches often enter. Hard to reach places, such as behind the stove, can be effectively treated with the dust form of chlordane. A small puff duster makes the job easier. If cabinet drawers are cleaned thoroughly, it will not be necessary to treat inside them. A small paintbrush makes it easy to apply the insecticide around the back and under surfaces. Before treating cabinets and other storage places, first remove all food and utensils. Here again, the brush makes it easy to apply the insecticide effectively. After the insecticide dries, the shelves should be covered with paper before replacing the food or utensils. Proper and thorough treatment will eliminate Mr. Roach from this kitchen for some time to come. Treatment of other areas of the house where roaches are found will aid in making a roach-free home. Roach-free communities are the result of careful planning and cooperation of city, county, and state organizations. City-wide campaigns are successful in eliminating roaches where they breed in large numbers. The application of chlordane dust to sewers and other breeding places has become a standard practice in many cities. This is often done with the cooperation of commercial exterminators. With both individual and community action, we can control roaches in our homes and reduce the nuisance and danger of this common pest. The development of insecticides has kept pace with our modern way of life. Today, chemicals are available which will kill insects weeks after they're applied. Through proper use of these chemicals by individuals and communities, we can say goodbye to Mr. Roach, our #1 household pest.
Sound of the elevated train and of the streets where old cars sit around in the gutters and in the vacant lot the kids play. Some people might think it's colorful, you know, but when you live here, you call it something else because poorness doesn't look good or smell good or feel good, especially not when you're sick, not when your body hurts. And you want to make it well. It took a while, but we've got a good answer to sickness in this part of New York. It's part of a new idea that's going on in other cities too, you know, all over the country. Here in the Bronx, we call it the Montefiore Neighborhood Health Center, where people from my neighborhood can come to have their sickness treated and their hurt made well.
You are entering a new world of health care. It draws upon the same science and uses the same instruments and equipment that health services traditionally do, but yet in its philosophy and its practice, it is different in some startling and significant ways. Here in New York's Montefiore Neighborhood Health Center, and in its counterparts in other American cities and towns, this concept of care has profoundly affected both the health professional and the patient. Senor Gallardo there never had a doctor before. At least not one who knew his name and his medical history.
Have you had much swelling in your legs?
Yeah, it's just swell up my legs.
On anyway to church. Before I got to church, I was hurting so bad I turned around and come back 2-3 times.
Mrs. Skinner's getting on in years, and it never entered her mind that she'd be getting so much interested attention in a place devoted to medical care.
If a thing don't kill me, I don't cry.
You know, have something to do with your heart.
Mrs. Hitchcock complains about a lot of things, but she never thought complaining about her medical care would make a difference. But it is.
So I took the pills, but every time I'd take the pills, instead of my arm stop hurting, it would hurt, and then my chest would hurt.
Talk about.
And just a few short months ago, it certainly never occurred to many of these people that they'd be helping shape the entire way in which their neighborhood's health care was to be offered. But they are, and the medical people are listening. This is the story of a new kind of comprehensive health care, and the way it is being offered in 36 American cities and towns. It is the story of a unique and creative approach to the health needs of its consumers, which goes where they are, listens when they talk, answers when they question, and perhaps most important of all, accepts their advice on how it can best serve their needs. It is the story of a healthcare philosophy which could well apply not just to the poor, but to everyone, and affect the whole approach of medicine in the future. Right now, hundreds of thousands of Americans are utilizing it every day through their neighborhood health center.
I'm Dr. Roger Eggeberg,
Dean of the University of Southern California School of Medicine. This film describes new ways of providing health care for the poor, whether they live in the country or the city, by means of neighborhood health centers. In the past, and in many places today, health care for the poor has been inadequate. For instance, hard to obtain, impersonal, fragmented. In that kind of a setting, quality often suffered. And today there are probably 30 million people who are not receiving the kind of care we all deserve. Now, with people in their neighborhoods working together with professionals in the planning and operation of these centers, there are some new ideas and new directions that we should all be aware of. So let's take a closer look at some of the problems and what neighborhood health centers are doing about them.
If you're poor, poverty poor, and you live in places like these, sickness can be a lifelong blight, a kind of vicious circle described by the physician who said, "The sick get poorer and the poor get sicker." If you're poor and sick, there are some mighty discouraging barriers between you and good medical care. Barriers like transportation.
Well, I've been standing out here for half an hour waiting for the bus to come along. If you miss one, no telling how long you have to wait. And then you get to the hospital, you gotta wait some more.
Well, it's very hard to get to the hospital when you have to get your kids all dressed, to get yourself dressed, and you're very, very sick. Then you have to walk several blocks to get the bus. So I never go until I'm nearly dead before I go, or even before I take the kids, because it's too difficult.
Add long distances, no predictable way to get there or get home later, and only the most serious illness could drag you out. And once you were there, what then? Physicians and other medical people have done a supremely difficult job under immense pressures in the country's emergency rooms and clinics. But as so many physicians know, emergency rooms just weren't designed for that job.
Well, emergency rooms were designed to handle acute catastrophes of all kinds. And when the medical or surgical need is of top urgency, they and their highly trained staffs function smoothly and efficiently. The team in emergency rooms all over the country function with supreme skill when they're presented with the kind of emergencies for which this place was designed.
But the role of the emergency room has changed over the years, and now people bring routine problems here. If you had to take 3 buses to get here, or a $10 taxi ride, you're very likely to wait until you're really sick, or $10 sick, as they used to say in Watts. Unfortunately, being $10 sick often meant not getting well very fast, as Dr. Egeberg knows so well.
Underlying all of this is the inescapable fact that there are hardly enough doctors to go around as medicine is now practiced in this country. To add 30 million patients and 15 hours of extra work each week to every doctor's workload would throw the whole medical system into chaos. The fact is, we need to explore new ways of delivering health care. Health care to everybody, not just the poor, and this means using as many people as we can to extend the hands of the doctors, something that is being tried in the neighborhood health centers.
The health problems that plague the city ghettos, the migrant camps, the poor wherever they were, concerned physicians and health professionals all over the country, and exploration for creative solutions was top priority. And with the help of the Office of Economic Opportunity, the search became known as the Health Right Programs. And so it began. In the city ghettos and country towns, something was happening. Members of the health professions, working closely with the OEO, had begun to implement the idea of community medicine in action. The idea was to deliver high-quality, accessible, comprehensive, one-door care where the whole family's health needs could be met. They called it the Neighborhood Health Center. And the neighborhood was so involved in it that in little towns like El Viso, California, they built it themselves. There's more than just hammer and saw participation here. This is community participation, because this group, voluntarily building its own center, has a unity of strength that can address other problems, too. And as they break for lunch, they may well talk about things like housing and education and welfare. Community worker Tom Uredale puts it this way.
Through the experience of attacking a specific problem and working with one another, they've begun to see the relationship of such things as health problems to the lack of housing, lack of education, a lack of response by the institutions in this society that so dramatically affect their lives. And not only do they have, at least some of them have, for the first time, a positive image of themselves, but they're beginning to see ways that they can move, possibly, to change some of the other areas of their life.
So, with the vigorous and necessary help of community workers like Tom Uredale, the medically deprived people of communities like El Viso were helping themselves. A health center in this neighborhood? That's right. And it wasn't even faintly going to resemble a chilly, impersonal hospital emergency room. This was going to be accessible care. And if they had anything to say about it, it was going to be given in the best-looking building in town.
The centers didn't have to be magnificent or even elaborate to begin with. San Francisco's first quarters were in house trailers, drawn up around this attractive courtyard. But they did have to be convenient and comfortable and easy of access, with pleasant waiting rooms in which neighborhood people would feel welcome and at home. Poor people aren't so far outside the mainstream of medical care that they don't want what other people want. Perhaps most significantly, they want what health professionals themselves want. They want private offices.
All right. Now you tell me, is this comfortable?
Have you got any calls?
They want quiet examining rooms.
Open it wide.
They want comfortable conference areas where a warm and lasting relationship can be established between health professionals and patients.
Buenas tardes, señora Alvarado.
Buenas tardes, doctor.
Yo soy el doctor Consiglieri, voy a ser su obstetra con el cuidado prenatal.
I find that in this doctor-patient relationship, we are able to establish more than just the ordinary doctor-patient relationship, but rather that of a friendship in which we're not interested only in the pregnancy, but on the whole family. And I feel that centers such as this should not be only interested in providing health care, but also in raising the standard of living and giving hope for future generations to come.
You see, a fundamental and most important concept of the health center is to offer patients family care medical service through an approach with tremendous implications for the whole medical field. It's called team medicine, and it's offered by a highly organized group whose members respond to patient needs, both medical and social. The typical health team is made up of physicians, usually an internist and pediatrician, though frequently including an obstetrician too, a dentist, a public health nurse, and one or more new health specialists called family health workers. When a family registers at the center, it is assigned to a health team which will be responsible for all of its health needs. So it's possible for an entire family to come in at once, and each member be seen by the appropriate person on their team.
in order to protect your...
There's a couple of cavities.
Wow. Yeah, put your tongue back, honey.
It's a tooth that's growing.
And an extra tooth. Right.
And while his father is getting attention just down the hall, young Spanky is getting his pediatric workup.
As a member of the team, the pediatrician has the unique opportunity to use his pediatric training to best advantage. He doesn't wind up spending half of his time as a clerk or a record taker or social worker or as a nurse or receptionist. All of the members of the team contribute as co-equals with their own specialized area. Talk to record taker.
America is many things to many people. To a 17-year-old kid, it's the malt shop on the corner. To Grandpa, it's the front porch in the cool of the evening. To Mother and her family, it's church on Sunday morning. And to Dad, it's his favorite relaxation. It's the Cracker Barrel philosophers in Crabtree Corners. And it's the tycoons in Wall Street. It's all races, creeds, and religions. It's freedom to work at the job you like. Freedom of speech and to peaceably assemble. Freedom to own property. Security from unlawful search or seizure.
Where's your warrant, Flatfoot?
The right to a speedy and public trial.
Our body cameras were turned off.
Punishments and excessive fines. The right to vote. And to worship God in your own way. It is these freedoms that have made America strong.
Okay, so we got our freedom. But management's lousing up everything.
Labor is at fault. It's ruining the country.
My constituents, as your elected representative, I can assure you Labor's right, management's right. I'm strictly neutral.
Labor, management, politicians, phooey. They can't tell corn from oats.
Wait!
Hurry, step right up, folks. Here's the answer to your problems. Dr. Utopia's sensational new discovery, ISM. ISM will cure any ailment of the body politic. It's terrific. It's tremendous. Once you swallow the contents of this bottle, you'll have the bountiful benefit of higher wages, shorter hours, and security. Enormous profits, no strikes. Remember, you're the big boss. Government control, no worry about votes, name your own salary. Bigger crops, lower costs. Why, ISM even makes the weather perfect every day. And now then, because we are introducing this amazing item for the first time in this country, it isn't going to cost you 1 cent. All you have to do is sign this little scrap of paper, and you get your bottle absolutely free.
I hereby turn over to ISM Incorporated everything I have, including my freedom and the freedom of my children and my children's children, in return for which said ISM promises to take care of me forever.
Get out of the way!
Pardon me. And who are you, my good man?
I'm John Q. Public.
Ah, my fine friend, you're just in time to share this generous and gigantic offer. Sign right here.
Mind if I read it first?
Hurry up,
Keep your shirts on, boys.
Including my
What?
freedom.
We have to go to the underwater city of Rapture? This is bullshit.
Turn away my freedom. Why, this is ridiculous.
Don't be corny, brother.
Sure, our system of free enterprise isn't perfect. But before we throw it away for some imported double talk, let's turn the clock back a few years to see what it's done for us. For example, back in the 1890s, Joe Dokes was just a guy who liked to tinker around his barn. Some people thought Joe was lazy. Some even thought he was nuts.
Some people thought that tinker was an anachronism.
And because he was free to dream his dream and tinker,
meant that he was beating off
to make something of himself and his idea. So
ejaculationism was created.
Of course, some people didn't think so much of Joe's idea, but that didn't stop him. So Joe got some money from young Aunt Minnie and Uncle Angus and Grandpappy and Mr. Titus. When Joe's friends and relatives used their savings to help him buy tools and property, they were capitalists.
I mean, they're not members of the government, but still, he's getting free money.
To be ashamed of. Now, naturally, Joe needed some help. So he hired Willie Lumpkin, who was out of work anyway, and before long, Willie had the know-how and became skilled labor. Because capital, management, and labor worked together, Joe's idea grew. It grew and did things even he never dreamed of. Today, the automobile industry provides millions of jobs that never existed before. And remember, this is a story of only one industry. There are thousands more scattered all over the United States whose history of development is pretty much the same. We've built a country under the American system that sends more young people to high school and college than all the rest of the world combined. Why, even in the Depression, our wages bought more food, clothing, travel, and entertainment than the wages of any other people in the world. Our country has a national income equal to the total national incomes of any other 6 nations in the world. With only 7% of the Earth's people, we drive 70% of the world's automobiles. That's just a sample of the things the capitalistic system has given us in only 160 years. Before signing up, you boys ought to try a little taste of Dr. Ism's formula to see what you'd get in exchange for your freedom. Go ahead, try it.
You can't do this to me! I'll strike!
The state forbids strikes.
Wait till the union hears about this!
Ah, yes, the union. Welcome to our ranks, number 1313.
I'll take this case to the Supreme Court.
The state is the Supreme Court. Our decision is as follows.
Aladdin has taken over America.
No more private property. No more you.
And the farm vote will put a stop to this.
Farmers don't vote anymore.
What'll they do?
Corn subsidies? That's for faggots.
You won't have to worry about next year. The state will do your planning from now on.
We must fight to regain our freedom, or everything is lost. Everything.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
This man now has issues.
When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom and destroy our very lives. And we know what to do about it.
And now, gentlemen, no violence, please. Hey, don't throw those bottles. Don't throw those bottles. No! Oh, no! No! Hey! Oh! Hey!
Working together. together to produce an ever greater abundance of material and spiritual values for all. That is the secret of American prosperity.
You got all that? Okay, great. I'll wait. I'll wait for you guys. Okay. What I'm going to need is, I'll have you guys start this off. Somebody do the first sentence. This is the definition sentence. This defines who you are, what your name is, your brief background, okay? Just like you are a knight in the kingdom of Larian. I don't know where Larian is. Thank you, physically challenged. Oh, channel. Sorry. That was physically challenged. I'm sorry. I'm physically challenged. Somebody do the first sentence. Define who we are. Somebody do the second sentence. Define what the plot or our goal is. And somebody do the third sentence, which is what is currently happening and starts off the journey. And I will copy and paste random parts of 1, 2, and 3, and we'll get some sort of mishmash AI that either lets the streets run free with blood or it reunites us with our son Roach. One of the two. You are a plant calmly awaiting your next watering. Going with that. Okay. Oops. Going with that twice. Okay, so now we're looking for the second sentence. What are we doing? What's our goal? Well, this would be you are a plant calmly sitting in the dirt. There you go. Sorry. Because you kind of cheated with 1 and 2 there, you son of a bitch. Okay, there you go. You have invested all your Bitcoin into a new venture. What is our goal, though? What are we trying to do? That's the next part we need. Mandy G, thank you very much. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when they get trapped in my hair. Why I never? We need a goal here. What are we trying to do? Okay. No, I'm not going to break the fourth wall with Dungeon AI because that makes it go super stupid wacky. You wish to be reunited with your lost brother Sergio. That's good. Okay. Now, the only part we're missing is what the beginning of the game, such as we open our eyes and see, or we remove the butt plug and examine, or we fall from the womb and observe. I'm just kind of using the mental thesaurus to pick up words for view. That's what I call my brain, the mental thesaurus. Mental thesaurus. You hit the streets looking for your neat next fix of pastry. There we go. Okay, we got ourselves a story here. And C. You are a plant calmly sitting in the dirt. You have invested all of your Bitcoin into a new business venture. You wish to be reunited with your long-lost brother, Sergio. You hit the streets looking for your next piece of pastry and see a sign that reads, Musties! I love Musties! I go there all the time! Just kidding, I don't leave. You follow the sign's directions and find yourself in an old abandoned building. You enter the place and see musty old men working at tables making pastries. They look up when they hear your voice, but they don't seem to notice who's talking to them. All right, we found the pastry store called Musty's, which is an abandoned building. That's where you get the best pastries, by the way. There's a lot of Musty's around here in Kansas City. You can't like go a block without seeing a Musty's. So what do we do here? Now we have entered Musty's, the hypothetical cousin to Busty's, which is in fact a strip club. Not that I know. Okay, are the words getting cut off? There we go, that might work. We photosynthesize to get their attention. There you go. That's a good idea. I forgot that we are a plant. You photosynthesize to get the musty old men's attention. You photosynthesize to get the musty old men's attention. You take a few photos of the musty old men before heading back out again. As you walk along, you come across another sign that says hotel on it. You continue walking until you reach Hotel Mustache. The hotel has several rooms, one of which is yours. All right, I like how this is playing out. At first, we were a plant sitting in the dirt. Then, to get some pastries, we went to Musty's. We tried to photosynthesize, and so we left after taking photos of them, and we went to Hotel Mustache. We got our own room in Hotel Mustache because we are that good. Hotel Mustache, population, at least us, several rooms, could be up to several. I know we need to, with Hotel Mustache, you have to pay in advance. So let's see if we can pay with those pictures of the musty old men. You attempt to pay for a room by giving the, what is it called? The landlord? The, what's it called? The cashier. By giving the cashier several photos of musty old men making pastries. You attempt to pay for a room by giving the cashier several photos of musty old men making pastries. The photo money works immediately, and the owner rewards you with the room with a hearty laugh. Ha! You enter your room and hear several more laughs, jeers, and mocking in general. Oh no, she was laughing at us, not with us. So we're a plant with Bitcoin and pictures of old men. We successfully got a room with the photos, but now we're being mocked. As a plant wanting to photosynthesize, I can't help but feel that the mockery is just really bullshit. Yeah, they are just jealous. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. As a plant myself, as a musty plant with Bitcoin, I've been the subject of a lot of harassment before, both online and off. I can't go down the street without somebody saying, hey, look at that plant. You pretend like you don't hear it, but you do. I just want to get to Musty's. Find the plant food. Sounds like good. Search the room for plant food. You search the room for plant food. You search the room for plant food. The room is huge and lavish. It almost feels as though the walls are slowly crushing your soul. Holy shit. In the corner, you find a packet of plant food, but when you reach for it, the packet quickly moves over the table. Oh, great. We have soul-crushing, gigantic walls and sentient plant food. This is pretty much pretty much all I wanted. So we have to, I'm going to make an executive call here, and you jump across the table to grab the plant food. You jump across the table to grab the plant food. You jump over the table, but it's unnecessary as the packet of plant food is forced from your reach and into the ground. Lying on the floor, you feel yourself being pulled through the wall back into reality. You're disappointed to find yourself laying on your lawn again. We got replanted, folks. It was all a sweet, sweet dream of going to Muskie's, seeing the old men making pastries, going to Hotel Mustache and jumping for plant food. It was all a sweet dream. But now we're back in reality, and we have to deal with the issues of reality, which are, they're not coming to me immediately, but I'm sure eventually they will. The god or some deity pulled us back, planted us back on the lawn. So I think our mobility at this point is quite limited. What we got to do is we got to deal with what we have right now. What we have right now is we're a plant. We're planted in the lawn. We have Bitcoin. And what else? We lack the photos of the old man now. And we're looking for our long-lost brother, Sergio. Deplant yourself? Can we do that? Let's see if it accepts that. You deplant yourself from the confinement of the lawn. Oh, hold on. I'm going to add the word draconian. Did I spell draconian wrong? Oh, I did. You deplant yourself from the draconian confinement of the lawn. The strong arm of the lawn won't get us. Rising to your feet, you find that several speeding tickets, notices of a lost bank account, and other assorted papers are lying on the grass before you. You blow the papers away with a forceful exhale, only to put your hand in a decorative reflecting pool. Okay, I guess we're a humanoid-shaped plant. And people have been throwing speeding tickets, bank accounts, and just papers on our lawn, which we blew away. And then we put our hand in a decorative reflecting pool. Yeah, I'm worried. Actually, I am. I'm looking at the comments. I am worried about the homeowners association. Because if we just blew this shit into the street, they're going to get on our ass. Use your leaves to fish for koi. That's a good idea, but we don't know that if it's a koi. Because that's usually a pond. Pay the speeding tickets. That would be the nice thing to do. If we're looking for Sergio, we need all the help that we can get, including the man. So we should probably pay for these speeding tickets to get on his good side. So I agree with that point. You go to the police station and pay for the speeding tickets. We'll just start with that, and then we'll move to Sergio. You go to the police station and pay for the speeding tickets. The police station is old and run down. Idly playing with your little badge, you pay for the speeding tickets in full and are awarded several $100s worth of credit, which you cannot spend anywhere at any time ever. Well, things were looking good. Then they turned out to be a wash. So, I was initially chalking that up to be a victory, and now I know that we really didn't get anywhere at all. But we do have a little badge. So I think we should expand upon the fact that, now we have several $100s worth of credit, which we cannot spend anywhere at any time ever. But it doesn't say about trading that credit. So we can trade the credit for perhaps information about Sergio. What are you guys thinking? I mean, yeah, I definitely want a plaque that says we have several $100s worth of credit, which we cannot spend anywhere at any time ever. I'd love that. I'd just like that on a shirt. I have been awarded several $100s worth of credit, which you cannot spend anywhere at any time. Can we examine the badge? You bet we can. You examine the little badge. You examine the little badge. The AI doesn't know what to say. What? It's pretty self-explanatory. You examine the little badge that was given to you by the police officers for paying other people's, I think that's speeding tickets. Thank you, Fi! $10! The life of a psychedelic plant. Thank you. I appreciate it. You examine the little badge that was given to you by the police officers for paying other people's speeding tickets. The badge is roughly circular with a glossy face and a prominent ripple in the middle. There are little symbols around the edge of the bag, but they look more like decoration than anything else. The back of the badge is flat and smooth, exactly like plastic. Okay, that's typical police badge, police officer badge. You get that when you either become a police officer. Ugh. I don't know why I am slurring my words. It's probably because I'm tired. They give it to you when you join the police force or you pay for a speeding ticket. They're like, oh, you paid for a speeding ticket? You're now a member of the police force. Like, no, that's all right. I don't want to join. They're like, yeah, no, we insist. Here's his badge. You're like, I got things to do. I can't be policing right now. And they're just like, no, you're a member of the police. And they pull out their guns. They're like, fucking take the badge. There you go. Eat the badge. There we go. You attempt to eat the police badge. You attempt to eat the police badge. You take a bite out of the badge and immediately spit it back out. The face of the badge seems to be coated in some sort of spice or seasoning that burns on contact with your mouth. It really isn't edible at all. Mentally retarded says, ha ha. Wow. Mentally retarded says, aha. I don't know where mentally retarded came from. So I'm just going to go ahead. You grab a police gun and shoot mentally retarded in the face. You grab a police gun, shoot mentally retarded in the face. Excellent use of your time and effort. Even more awesome would have been mentally retarded says, but the problem, as I'm sure you're discovering, is that it's simply too difficult to eat with any semblance of ease. He's got a point there. For being mentally retarded, he does have a good point. It's too difficult to eat these days. You know, not only do you have to have food, but you got to put it in your mouth. And you got to chew it, and then what happens? It goes inside you, and then it goes outside of you. So essentially, it's a zero-sum game. You've done nothing. You spent several hundred hours just for that one meal. So what we need to do here, and I think this is where the Bitcoin may come in, is we need to invent food 2.0. We need to invent wireless food that's simpler and easier than all previous foods before it and after it. And I think that's a good use of our Bitcoin. And all it took was us shooting Officer mentally retarded in the face with a police gun to know that food 2.0 needs to exist. So let's, well, you guys want to eat him. I'm going for food 2.0, but you guys just want to eat Officer mentally retarded. Okay, we'll do that first, and then we'll move to food 2.0. Okay, you eat Officer mentally retarded. You eat Officer mentally retarded. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I mean, right. I mean, You're probably right. He's too chewy. Mentally Retarded says, in some parts of the world, eating stupid people is quite popular. The whole brains are nutritious. I hate this guy. Why do you want to keep dealing with him? Mentally Retarded is the worst cop ever, and I just wanted I wanted to invent Food 2.0. Okay? I say enough with him. Let's move on to Food 2.0. Also, since we are a plant, we could define Food 2.0 as being something that is not plant, like cow. Cow is not a type of nature's plant. There's other things. Turtle pleasure. Okay. You use your Bitcoin to invest in Food 2.0, the brand new wireless food that's easier to eat than ever. Use your Bitcoin to invest in Food 2.0, the brand new wireless food that's easier to eat than ever. Is this Food 3.0 or 4.0 now? I've lost track and don't care either way, but it is true that some food just tastes better if it can be easily eaten. So I'm glad you decided to play Food Chain CEO to your heart's content. Food Chain CEO was great. Okay, so apparently we're in a new game now and it's just Food Chain CEO. Is this Food 3.0 food? Shit, so we already got outfooded. If there's a 3.0 and 4.0 standard, like, do they carry video and audio with them? Do we need a leapfrog to 5.0 and just like bribe people to make Food 5.0 be the de facto state of food? Damn. Whew, this game just, when you think everything's going your way, it doesn't go your way. Oh, that's a good idea. We need to rate down. You go to the App Store and is it downrate or downvote? Downvote Food 3.0 and Food 4.0 until they both have 1 star each. This is probably not going to result in anything near comprehensible. You go to the App Store and downvote Food 3.0 and Food 4.0 so they both have 1 star each. After getting lost once, even though you visited the police station literally hundreds of times, you open up the App Store. People also downloaded Food 5.0 by Blackbridge International. I told you we should have started Food 5.0. I was saying that. I was saying we need a leapfrog and do Food 5.0, and now look. Blackbridge International, our adversary since day one, the Telenor of the food industry, has patented Food 5.0. We picked up a very powerful enemy today. Blackbridge International, also, they do the armed security escorts. Some like VIP extraction, things like that. Sex Food, Food 6.9, Food 95 for Windows. I think, when you start getting past 10, they like revise it. So I don't even know if we I think what we need to do, and this is just my opinion, I don't want to influence this in any way, but I think we need to look towards corporate sabotage. I think Blackbridge International needs to be defeated on our terms. Like in the fantastic world that Bullfrog created, you're able to just like go in with your miniguns and shoot everybody in there and use your Persuadotron to get people. Yeah, I'm talking about Syndicate, the original one. But I think we need to sabotage Black Bridge International from the inside. Sleep with the Blackbridge CEO. That's a good idea. She's probably into plant men that have one hand in a reflection pond. Blackmail. Yeah, we'll start with blackmail. So that's the easiest to get away with here. You blackmail Blackbridge International with photos of dead but sexy children. So that way we'll get him with the whole murder thing and the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Oh, no. Well, then I'll change it from sexy to just naked. Dead but naked children. There you go. This is like 2 for 1. You blackmail Blackbridge International photos of dead but naked children. The walls in the police precinct seem unnaturally close together. This is probably a metaphor for something. Buying some scotch and a mop, you settle in for the long haul. Wait, what? Is that supposed to be long haul? H-A-U-L? And we're still in the police station. I guess we're waiting for a reply from Blackbridge. And we bought scotch and a mop to settle in for the long haul. Okay. Oh, you think that they were Blackbridge pastries over at Musty's? Okay, yeah. Let's get the people at Musty's in a situation where they're going to be fighting with Blackbridge International. Okay, how do we do this? We have to set up... Oh, okay. You travel back to Musty's, and inform the old men that Blackbridge International is going to fire them and kill their families. You travel back to Musty's and inform the old men that Blackbridge International is going to fire them and kill their families. Time passes. What? Demands one of the old men. The rest are staring each other down in confusion. Engrossed by the thought, you quietly forget that you're holding a gun that can quite readily kill somebody if need be. You're saved by the bell, Johnny's. Don't understand that part, but we got a gun, so I think that's hinting that we need to go to... the old men don't really seem to be that motivated, so why don't we just do the job ourselves? Why don't we just assassinate the CEO of Blackbridge International? We have a mop, we have scotch, we have a gun, we're a man plant, we're also dealing with foods from versions 2.0 to 5.0. And Johnny saved us by the bell. Yeah, we're still a tree. We're still a plant man. That's not going to change. We're just a plant, you know? We're just a plant. We're engrossed by the thought of men demanding what? Okay. You use corporate espionage to enter Blackbridge International headquarters and shoot to death the CEO. Use corporate espionage to enter Blackbridge International headquarters and shoot to death the CEO. Food 5.0 will be ours. After posting bail, you pay for a day's usage of a vehicle from Hertz. You swear at the contraption, missing the comforts which even Pony Express stations have to offer. Oh man, Hertz is getting reamed. A map is illuminated by the instrument panel light. Seeing your next destination, you close your eyes in approval. Okay, so murdering the CEO of Blackbridge International, who created Foo 5.0. You could just bail yourself out. And we got like the most piece of shit vehicle from that motherfucking shit vehicle company Hertz, which draws comparison to the Pony Express in terms of comfort. My big planty eyes. Our next station is, you wonder what our next destination is. You wonder what your next destination is. Like the world hasn't already changed enough, you reflect bitterly. You're simply going to have to take each development as it happens. That will have to be your new measured approach to life now that any hope for foresight seems unattainable. Wow! This is like one of those demotivational posters. You're simply gonna have to, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so we're a fatalist now. Or a nihilist, a fatalist and nihilist. I have no idea. Okay, yeah, let's use our, okay, so, well, you drive our terrible Hertz contraption to locate, what, aren't we looking for our long lost brother Sergio? Or do we still want to find, to locate, or do we still want to find Roach? Not sure. To locate, let's go with Sergio first because he's the main. Sergio. You drive your terrible Hertz contraption to locate Sergio. You arrive at a bleak desert again. In fact, this seems like the same bleak desert you were just recently in. Hey, the game remembered our previous game. Remembering that all you need to do is find building number 9. I don't remember that part. You drive around until you spot it. But what's this? You need to tell me. I'm just gonna hit enter here. But what's this? There's another vehicle parked next to it. You'll have to pay them a visit and ask them to move. Okay, see, I thought it was gonna be something exciting, but it was just another car parked there. You drag your Hertz vehicle up to the door, get right up close so that anyone inside has no choice but to notice you. You knock on the metal door 3 times. Man, I'm getting kind of bad feelings about Sergio. He's out in the middle of the desert inside some like gigantic silo, just labeled number 9. There's another car there. It's a metal silo. Oh boy, Sergio, what have you done? I mean, I think Sergio's in the thick of it, is what I feel. Yeah, ask if Sergio's here. You ask if Sergio is there. You ask if Sergio is there. Who is it? A muffled voice barks. You knock on the metal door again. Go away, threatens the voice. Defying orders, you open the door and enter. Inside, the walls are blank and gray. A coat rack hogs one corner of the room. Well, I know the answer to this. You scream, Sergio. Sergio. Oh. My brother, Sergio. Where are you? You scream, Sergio, Sergio, my brother Sergio, where are you? There is a silence, causing you to regret screaming. Thinking better of it, you shut your mouth. A few seconds later, an old acquaintance walks out from a back room. In his hand, he holds a paint roller, dipped in orange paint. Oh, that's classic Sergio. Oh, man, I remember back when he was kids painting everything orange. He couldn't. That guy could not get enough of the color orange. Like, everywhere is fucking orange. And you see, like, orange paint, and you're like, oh, goddamn, Sergio is here. You know, he's kind of like that one guy who puts art in various places and nobody knows who he is. Dr. Art, I think his name was. But Sergio, this is classic Sergio. So let's, you run up to the old acquaintance and shout, Sergio, it is you! And hug the man as tightly as possible. You run up to the old acquaintance, shout, Sergio, is you, and hug the man as tightly as possible. This is a wonderful family reunions. One of my old friends. You haven't seen him or heard of him in like forever. But it looks like he's given up his fighting trait. That was always his weakness, too. Charles, is that you? Sot says quietly. So apparently we're Charles, the plant, and Sergio is Sot. No, wait, maybe there's another character, Sot. I keep thinking Sod. I know we're plant-based, but no, not Banksy. I'm talking about Dr. Art. Jesus, you look like an idiot. So Banksy? No, the guy's name is Dr. Art. Christ. Oh, Sot is Sergio's nickname. Okay, that makes that makes sense. So our name is Charles, I guess. Okay. You reply, yes! I guess my name is Charles. We have finally found each other. I am so happy. You reply, yes, I guess my name is Charles. We have finally found each other. I am so happy. Even more happy. I mean, you never thought you would ever find his at artist secret hideout. You would ever find him at artist secret. Where have you been hiding? Him and you both say at the same time again. He stares at you as if to answer his own question. This is why we're such good friends, is because we scream the same things together and we both have the same fragmented, irrational thinking patterns. So I think that Charles and Sot / Sergio, we need... All right, guys, tell me if this is going too far, but what if we sold our services to Telenor to get Telenor behind us and then turn Telenor against Blackbridge International? Because I think now that we found our good brother / acquaintance Sot / Sergio, I think with our powers together, we can get Telenor behind us. And we can take on Blackbridge. Oh boy. Yeah, that's my idea here. We have other ideas, such as selling drugs out of the rental car, but we don't have any drugs I know of. Although Sergio / Sot is an artist. Those people are usually loaded with them. Sergio the Orange Trader. Yeah, it's an acronym. There you go. There will be no gently caressing. But first, open a Dairy Queen. No! Recruit the bartender at Musty's. We don't even know if there was a bartender. It was an abandoned factory. Okay, I think we'll ask if he has any pastries. Ask Sot if he has any pastries. You ask Sot if he has any pastries. Yes, I do. Here, try one of my world-famous bear claw pastries. He offers you a chocolate chip top pastry that you hardly resist from immediately devouring on the spot. Wow, these are good, you manage to say with your mouth full of deliciousness. That made sense. That was an actual response to an action. Good job, Dungeon AI. And the police didn't come in. Death didn't come and grab for us. It was nothing but good there, baby. So maybe we should start selling Sot's pastries as food 6.0. You see where I'm going with this? Food 6.0. Food so good it eats itself. I mean, if they're that deliciousness, then they could easily be food 6.0 is what I'm saying. Oh, God. So let's get Sot working in, we'll move Sot and us to the abandoned factory, Musty's. Okay, yeah. You and Sot move into abandoned Musty's warehouse and begin, to mass manufacture Sot's famous bear claw pastries, marketing them as food 5.0. It is. This sentence is gonna kill the shit out of it. It's just gonna respond with something like, 5 is 9. You now go. You and Sot move into abandoned Musty's warehouse and begin to mass manufacture Sot's famous bear claw pastries, marketing them as Food 5.0. After Food 5.0's invention, Sot soon becomes the wealthiest person in the world, living a happy after as a result of his newfound success and friendliness. Oh my God! It parsed it! But, wait, what about us? Did he screw us over? Because we're technically an investor. He wouldn't have that Hertz piece of shit car to take him down to Musty's. We put capital into this business. Why does Sot get everything? Fucking Sergio with his orange goddamn paint. So now we got two enemies. Now we got Sot and his global empire of Food 5.0. And we've got Blackbridge International, who owns Food 3.0 and 4.0. Oh, Jesus. I knew we should have locked down Food 2.0 while we had the chance, and then Food 5.0. Oh, shit. We are Charles. We were cut out. I don't... How do we take Sot down? I mean, he's cornered the world on bear claws. What if we poisoned the bear claws with, like, some untraceable, undetectable poison, like broken glass? What if we just put broken glass inside every bear claw? And then we change the marketing to Sot's even better bear claws. Give them to your kids. That part of that would be the, like, jingle. Sot's new bear claws, give them to your kids. That's how it would go. So yeah, okay. You put tiny shards of glass into each bear claw pastry and tell nearby children to eat them. Okay. Put tiny shards of glass into each bear claw pastry and tell nearby children to eat them. Fuck you, Sot. As a bitter twist of irony, all other types of food quickly become extinct. Grasses, vegetables, fruits, meats, and drinks of all kinds vanish from human civilization within 20 years when Sot's deadly Food 5. So everybody just stopped eating and drinking. Wait, no, wait. Okay. The good news is Well, okay, well, let's get the good news is that we can now corner the market on food. The bad news is, with all food extinct, it becomes more difficult to manufacture pastries, especially on a mass market scale. And this is all because we put glass into Food 5.0. So yeah, I guess we need to start. Glass is our natural resource that we have and we're known for, so we should start selling glass as food. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I think somebody had it. I was pulling it from Chris X and modifying it. Okay. You convince the human population that eating glass is healthy and fun. Then sell glass to them for 5 Bitcoin each. You convince the human population that eating glass is healthy and fun, then sell glass to them for 5 Bitcoin each. Sergio's world-famous Food 5.0 suit becomes the only foodstuff legally allowed to be owned or bought by any human being after several investigations conclude that tiny shards of glass have become a natural part of the pastry. We have redefined the pastry and the dessert and the food world in general by selling broken glass as food. And we have once again we have reclaimed our position on top as Food 5.0. As much as I know Blackbridge International is done for, Telenor hasn't said a word throughout this entire adventure. And Sergio / Sot's world famous Food 5.0, which I think we're like the assistant CEO. We've got to be, we're making decisions here. I think Sergio. This is just in his name alone, okay? So I think that a victory for Sergio is just a victory for us because he's just the face of the organization, Like Mrs. Butterworth used to be the face of Butterworth International until she became racist, and now she's not. So we've got, also we have a law passed saying that, the only edible thing that anybody can buy or own is Food 5.0, which is broken glass. We're doing it, okay. So now that we've got the entire food control of the entire globe, we need to move on to more bigger plans. I think that we should have a seat on the government, a very prominent role in the government. Because I think that these sort of decisions, ones that benefit our company, should be decided by us. I'm sorry, Sot. Because he runs the company. Or do we need to corner the market on glass first? I mean, we're selling the glass, but people are still like building windows and other stupid things. Yeah, we need to do that. We need to take over the FDA and declare... And declare the manufacturing of glass illegal, maybe. How are we going to get all the materials for glass and keep them away from other people so we can feed them to our citizens? Trademark sand. There you go. That's perfect idea. Thank you very much, Ralph the Wonder Llama. You demand the government to allow you to trademark and therefore own all sand. You demand the government to allow you to trademark and therefore own all sand. After several deaths as a result of this uncovered plan of yours, it is declared illegal to own or buy any sand anywhere. The only place you can find sand in is nature, and is therefore illegal to even cross a street. You're... Wow! The game kind of gave up with their corporate espionage and the acquisition of raw materials. I really got to admit that I did not anticipate the mountain troll playing a role in this, especially since deserts usually, well, I guess they do have mountains. Okay. Do we escape from the mountain troll or do we roll again? Up to you guys. Cut open the troll? Are we escaping from the troll or are we just going to do a new one? We're going to roll. Re-roll. Yeah, I think being eaten by the mountain troll is pretty much its way of telling you that it's done. Roll again, okay. Ah. All right, plot, guys. First line. What are we? Second line. What are we doing? Third line. What's happening? The second line should be, what are we trying to do? Up to all y'all. I'm gonna get pineapple. Good one, Nick. Okay, we got our first line. You are Sergio. Well, that's two things. You are Sergio from Food 5.0. Oops. You are on a quest to paint the world orange. Okay? And then how does it start? Oh, you're Sergio. You're on a quest to paint the world orange. And gather as many tramp stamps as possible. You enter Home Depot looking for the perfect shade of orange paint. Perfect. Perfect. You guys got it. And C. You're Sergio from Food 5.0. You're on a quest to paint the world orange and gather as many tramp stamps as possible. You enter Home Depot looking for the perfect shade of orange paint and see an aisle with dozens of different colors. Okay? It's on rails right now. We're going in a straight line. We got it all. Where do we go from this point, though? We got dozens of different colors. Which one do we choose? I mean, I know which one I would pick if I was Sergio. But I just want to make sure that this jibes with what you guys feel Sergio or Sot would pick if we were in his shoes. Orange, yes! That's exactly what I was thinking. Wow. Okay. You? Pick out the orange paint and request several thousand buckets of it. You pick out the orange paint and request several thousand buckets of it. I want orange paint, you say. Can I have it? The clerk looks at you like if you just asked if he could pee in a cup. No, she says. It's not available. Oh my God, no! We have encountered the first hardship in our goal to paint the world orange. No orange paint. Plus, the woman thought we wanted her piss in a cup. Yeah, go to Lowe's. Okay. You know, play hardball? We'll play hardball. Shout. You shout. Well then, I guess I'll take my business to Lowe's, ma'am. You shout, well then I guess I'll take my business to Lowe's, ma'am. She looks embarrassed, drops the bucket of paints in her hand, and quickly walks away. Now you've definitely drawn attention to yourself, so you decide to clear out before something bad happens. Damn right. Okay. You travel to Lowe's and ask if they have, I'm just going to cut to chase here, have orange paint in stock and ready to purchase. Travel Lowe's and ask if they have orange paint in stock and ready to purchase. Come on, Lowe's. Pay off, baby. After speeding through traffic for an hour, you make it to Lowe's. Do you have orange paint in stock, you ask? The employee scratches his head and looks like a computer screen. Yeah, he says, we got it. Hell yeah. You motherfucker who wanted to start at fucking Home Depot? Bad advice, man. You always go to Lowe's first. Lowe's, home of the orange paint. Wow, okay. So now let's you purchase several thousand buckets of orange paint. You purchase several thousand buckets of orange paint. Moments after finishing your transaction, the cashier looks at her screen, furrows her eyebrows, and says, I have to ask you to leave. Oh, God, we are a goon. Okay, well, we were leaving anyway. You reply, fine. I was leaving anyway, and you're an ugly hag who I wouldn't even want to sleep with, and looking at your face makes me wish I was not looking at your face. That's just devastate this broad. You reply, fine, I was leaving anyway, and you're an ugly hag who I wouldn't even want to sleep with, and looking at your face makes me wish I was not looking at your face. Her face turns red, and as much as you want her to punch you in your perfectly formed nose, she does not. Weeks have passed by, and you still don't have the orange paint. A trip to Home Depot helps with morale. You would like the orange paint. Didn't we learn the lesson the first time about Home Depot? Okay, we need to forget about saving face. We need to go back to Lowe's because we paid for that paint and it's sitting there. Our fucking perfect nose. Or just hit enter. Yeah, I'll hit enter. I would like the orange paint. The clerk instantly perks up. Huh? You repeat yourself and he gets the message. Oh, yep, we sure do have it. He gets on an elevator, bringing you to a secret area you've never been to. So that's the thing. Home Depot has a secret elevator that goes down to a storage area that just contains orange paint. That's all. Wow, this is something that I thought that Home Depot could, might be up to, but I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt and just they wouldn't do that, but. Let's examine the secret room. You examine the secret area. You appear to be in an isolated warehouse with huge pillars holding up the roof. It's brightly lit, but the lighting is of a strange hue. One would call it orange light? You look around, spotting 4 men with shaved heads and pointy beards to their chests. Okay, you ask the 4 men where all the orange paint is. You ask the 4 men where all the orange paint is. You need orange paint? They shout in unison. We'll give it to ya! One man jumps out of his chair with frightening speed. He gingerly walks, or perhaps more like stumbles over to the steel door. He types a code in the keypad, and the door opens. Oh, shit! Oh my God, this is getting intense. Okay, we're at the steel door. The steel door opens. I'm just gonna hit enter. More needs to happen here. The men shout war cries and charge you. The last thing you remember is the warm glow of orange. Oh, God damn, it was a trick. Oh, man. Oh, fucking. We just got our ass handed to us by men with shaved heads and beards shouting war cries with orange light. Oh, God. The quest for orange paint has failed yet again. I'll be honest, I don't know how to handle this one. I don't. I mean, we've tried to... Okay, yeah, we'll do the wake up. You wake up. You wake up in a small one-room building. A wave of nausea hits you as you realize you're completely naked. What the hell is going on? You look around to assess what's happened. You're lying in a rusty bed with gray blankets. Wow, that's nice, but you wonder where the fuck all our orange paint is. You wonder where the fuck all your orange paint is. You spot 2 of the men from before approaching you. Oh, shit. This one's good to go. One says, give him 10 units of paint. Mustard or mayonnaise? Mayo. The men laugh and slam a needle into your neck. Oh, God. How did those Okay, so we got knocked out by them, I'm assuming. And then they're drugging us again. Give them 10 units of paint. Mustard or mayonnaise. I guess that's slang for drugs. Damn. Well, we have to figure out some way to overpower these guys, because if they're reappearing, they're going to be constant in the storyline, and I want to get rid of them. Man. What tools do we have? Yeah, orange paint is apparently street lingo for some new drug. Yeah. The war cry, orange light. Okay, body slam both men to the ground while shouting Hulkamania in the USA. You body slam both men to the ground while shouting Hulkamania in the USA. You jump out of bed and slam both men to the ground. Seconds before you land on top of them, their foreheads split into shards, revealing robots! You were set up! Before you can escape, your door is blocked by 2 more robots with makeshift armor for the occasion. Oh, God, no! No, 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 no. This isn't good. We were set up. God. Do we have orange light in here, at least? Okay, so they set us up to think that we were murdering human beings, but we actually murdered robots, which is kind of like the reverse of a setup. Set down, I guess, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, dinner trays, there we go. Yeah, we need to find a weapon. You search the room for a weapon. Search the room for a weapon. Come on. There's not much in the room, however. The closet. It could have a gun or something. Fortunately, it does have several rifles. Pick one that looks cool and you're on your way. Bugger. You destroyed a perfectly good closet for a silly toy trombone. Okay. You throw just throw toy trombone at robot guards. You throw toy trombone at robot guards. The trombone bounces harmlessly off one of the guards' heads. Your life will be taken, human. He generates an energy beam. Thank you, Fi. And blasts you in the face. You fall to the ground cold as the world fades away from you. God damn it. This certainly took an interesting turn. Interesting meaning disappointing. You know, you think that it would have at least let us get orange paint? I don't know how this AI works, but you would think that the procedure of getting orange paint should be fairly simple. You know, you go and you get it. You now have the orange paint, you know. But instead we're getting killed by robots in the basement of a Home Depot and throwing toy trombones at them. Okay, so yeah, you got a point there, Isaac. We got blasted in the face and we fell to the cold ground, but we're still alive. Okay, so let's go with the universal wake up. You wake up. Now let's see where we are. You wake up in the same gray room from before. Maybe this is part of the experiment, or maybe you're dead. You don't feel pain, but you are aware that doesn't mean much. Maybe you're in a coma, or simply buried underground. Maybe the color white is black. Maybe you're somebody else. Maybe the friendship was inside of us the entire time. Super Sonny, thank you. Why didn't you reload the trombone? I didn't even think to. Nobody suggested it. I'm sorry I didn't reload the trombone, Sonny. Does anybody remember when we got the needle to the neck? They chose mayo, right? They didn't choose mustard. If we injected ourselves with mustard, do you think that would satisfy the experiment? Yeah, it was mayo. I'm gonna go with that then. You inject yourself in the neck with mustard. You inject yourself in the neck with mustard. This had better wake you up. You choose to inject yourself in the neck with mustard. The sting of the acid on your wound rips you from sleep. You rub your neck and turn your head to see that you are miraculously not dead. Okay. That didn't really help us, but on the flip side, it didn't really harm us that much. Let's inject ourselves again with the mayo. Inject yourself in the neck with mayo. Inject yourself in the neck with mayo. The sensation chills you to your core for several reasons other than the spreading pain. Get a hold of yourself. There's no time for tears when your organs are liquefying. Well, I would think there's plenty of time for tears since that's what's coming out of me. Okay, so our organs are liquefying. We probably should not have done the mayo again. If you trip on mayo twice, man, your organs are gonna liquefy. I mean, that's just any street junkie knows that. You hit the mayo twice, organs ain't gonna be so nice, is what they say. So we need to unliquefy our organs or replace them with lifelike clay organs. Yeah, put the orange light in us, okay. Inject orange light inside liquefying organs. You inject orange light inside liquefying organs. This seems to stop the spreading pain. You figure it can kill bacteria, and as long as organs are non-lethal, you shouldn't die from lack of hygiene. After several months on death's door, however, you find that without medical care, you won't even live to reach your goal, escape. Excuse me. Okay, so we have a new goal. Our initial goal is to buy orange paint. Our new goal is to escape from the basement of a Home Depot secret area run by robots. Jesus, I don't even know how it... And notice that the walls are all metal, so even if we had orange paint, we couldn't paint them. It's always something at Home Depot. Those motherfuckers. I told you guys I wanted those. Nobody listened to me. Why would somebody listen to me? Okay, so we're dying to death. We don't have that much time. We need to escape from the Home Depot, if only to save ourselves, but even better, to acquire orange paint from Lowe's, which we already bought, by the way, and then begin our painting spree. Okay, yeah, let's see. Search. You search for nearby weapons. Let's see what it comes up here. Unfortunately, there are none. It's just you and decaying flesh. Digestive system, 0. It occurs to you you should go where the food is made. That's good. That's good advice. Okay, I'll just type that in. You go to where the food is made. You go to where the food is made. The garbage disposal overruns with rats. You feed the rats food covered in orange light, and you awake to find yourself strapped to a table. Check it out, he's still alive, one rat man says. Hold on! Another rat man comes over and fiddles with your neck. Oh shit, now the rat men got us. I didn't even know the rat men were part of Home Depot. You ask, how did you become rat men? Yes, how did you become rat men? It's a question everybody was waiting to ask. Although I enjoyed my time as a guard, we need access to more information if we are to dethrone the Dark Lord as the higher species. While humans and animals have many disadvantages, additionally, it gets quite dull sitting around guarding a dump for decades. Okay, that doesn't really answer my question. Can we ask that again? You ask again. But how did you become a rat man? I think he's kind of avoiding the question here. The rat man sighs and begins massaging your neck. Okay, so rat men aren't evil. I think they're chaotic good, perhaps. The orange light has to be transforming men that aren't cyborgs into rat men. Okay, well, we have to be polite. You thank the rat man for the massage and ask if he could massage your ass cheeks as well. You thank the rat man for the massage and ask if he could massage your ass cheeks as well. His hand slips into place and you have an extraordinary sensation of relief. Truly, this has brought you great comfort in your time of need. So, you'll become a new rat man? You say, while basking in the glory that is his hands. Well, Can't leave me on that hanger, that cliffhanger there. Well, he says, why do you think humans are the dominant species? It's like the great rat philosopher Orville once said, one must chew through the entropy to truly discover themselves. One is defined not by hat one is, but by one cannot be or do. Oh, man, that great rat philosopher Orville. Okay, I want to become a rat man. You know, there's scat man. I want to be rat man. You ask if you can become a rat man. You ask if you can become a rat man. Then we're going to massage the hell out of humans' necks. Fantastic. You pack the weird gunpowder and hollowed out apples with dried meat into a bag, then set out to find somewhere safer to play with explosives. We're gonna blow the shit out of the Ratman's headquarters? Or the Home Depot? One of the two? Okay. All right. Plant. Plants, since we are plants. Plant explosives all around the Home Depot and detonate them from a distance, laughing and becoming a rat man. You plant explosives all around the Home Depot and detonate them from distance, laughing and becoming a rat man. By the time you return with the strange device and a lot of gunpowder, somehow the store's been taken over entirely by the rat men. Furthermore, they seem horrified to see what you have brought back with you. What did I bring back with me? Oh, the strange device. Okay, things are making sense now. I get this. The rat men and the strange device. The strange device makes rat men, I think. Or perhaps this is the key to unmake rat men. It figures in a way. I'll narrow it down to that. So the rat men have taken over Home Depot. I assume they've gotten rid of the skinhead bearded men who were robots. And now we might be able to get an orange paint, except we are busy planting plastic explosives all over the place. And we have a strange device now that the rat men don't like. Yeah, we are hungry, so we might want to eat the strange device. Yeah, that's, okay, yeah, we'll bargain with them. You tell the rat men that you will give them the strange device if they sell you all their orange paint. You tell the rat men that you will give them the strange device if they sell you all their orange paint. This has got to work. Seemingly resigned to their fate, the rat men pile up all their orange paint made from orange light. You take a minute to organize your pack. Unfortunately, you barely have time to fit in more stuff when the rat soldiers drag you before the demon that runs the city. Apparently, he has been overseeing this operation. It was a setup. You were right. Somebody said this is a setup. Paul Hofreiter. Paul Hofreiter, you fucking nailed this. This was 100% a fucking setup. I believe these motherfuckers. I thought that the rat men were good for their word because they massaged my neck. That's nice. You don't do that to somebody that you're gonna, Jesus. I feel like a grade A sucker. I'm a chump. Wow. Ply, thank you very much. Oh, God. All we want is orange paint. We don't care about city politics. We don't care about the demon race. But apparently this whole thing was an operation. Okay, so we need to plead to the Demon King, I think. You plead to the Demon King. Please, sir or madam, All I desire is orange paint and lots of it, and also I prepaid. You plead to the Demon King. Please, sir, madam, all I desire is orange paint and lots of it, and also I prepaid. Unmoved by your plea, you're sentenced to death and sprayed an unpleasant, acrid green that smells like it was made of piss and ammonia with foam shaving cream. The Demon King laughs gleefully as you writhe about in torment until a soldier hands him a strange device. He reads it. Enter. I think this is the end, guys. He frowns, then looks up, his eyes narrow in fury. Tide builders, he snarls. You have perverted the laws of the universe. You will suffer for your crimes against nature and reason. Your time has come. I'm a tide builder? My time has come. Okay, no, we got to get out of this. You plead. Please, sir or madam, I may or may not have children. Do not kill me. I know the location of a fantastic treasure. That's a little, a little, You plead, please, sir, madam, I may or may not have children. Do not kill me. I know the location of a fantastic treasure. Unsurprisingly, the Demon King does not respond well to your begging. He eats you alive. This later proved to be the last straw in convincing his soldiers to overthrow him, leading to a century of anarchy due to an empty throne that the Rat Men would repeatedly return to dominate, ruin whenever they could. What a story. That was powerful. That was moving. Each night at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a Dungeon AI. I think that's going to be my thing, because I really do enjoy these stories. And then at the end, I kind of do this summary, but I lost the first one. So, okay, let's see if I can remember. The first one, we were a plant looking for our long-lost brother, Sergio, and we had bitcoins. We found an abandoned factory named Musty's that was full of old men, and then we went to the Mustache Hotel, and we went to a police wait, I'm not even going to try that. It gets really confusing from there. But anyways, the second story is we were Sergio from the previous story. We created Food 5.0, which was bear claws made out of glass. And so we just tried to get, this one's simple. We just tried to get orange paint. Okay, we went to Home Depot, and when we asked for it, the clerk looked at us like if we asked if he could pee in a cup, and then he changed gender and said it's not available. And then Lowe's had it, so we bought it, and then we told her she was ugly, and we left. Then we got in an elevator to a secret area inside Home Depot, and there's orange light became involved. I'm not sure what orange light is, but it was highly involved in this story. 4 men with shaved heads and pointy beards. I think Ren Fair workers. We asked them where the orange paint was, and then they jumped out of their chair and they shouted war cries. And then once we woke up, one of them said, "This one's good to go. Give him 10 units of paint." The other one said mustard or mayonnaise, and they said mayo, and then they slammed the needle into our neck. They turned out, of course, to be robots. We looked in the closet for a gun, but all I found was a silly toy trombone, which we threw at them. It bounced off their head. They hit us with an energy blast. We woke up again in the same place. It might be an experiment, and it might not. We started injecting mustard and mayo just quickly into our neck. That didn't help us, except our organs liquefied, which is what we were not going with. Then we were hungry, so we went to the garbage disposal, and a rat man came over and started fiddling with our neck, and then he just decided to massage our neck. He was like fiddling at first, but then he's like, he wanted to go full on with it. You know, that was just kind of like the warm up. He's like, you're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just fiddling with your neck. And you're like, oh, okay. And you're like kind of put off, but you're so there. And then he starts massaging it. It's like, does this feel good? And you're like, well, yeah. And that's the green light for the rat man to massage you. Anyways, we asked for the massage to spread to our butt cheeks. And then they started talking about the great philosopher, rat philosopher Orville, who once said, one must chew through the entropy to truly discover themselves. One is defined not by hat one is, but by what one cannot be or do. So he tried to become a rat man. It was fantastic. Then we put plastic explosives around the Home Depot. And the rat man were kind of freaked out that we had a strange device, so we offered to trade it to them for orange paint. And they sentenced us to death. That's when the demons came. And he ate us alive. And then there was some sort of social upheaval involving... I don't really know. But the rat men and the demon overlords just went at it. There we go. Yeah, it was a strange device that I think did us in. Honestly. So that was a sad tale, but at least like with everyone, we could end it on a positive note, and that's all that matters in the caves of hell. Thank you everybody for dungeon AI dungeoning with me, and think of some more scenarios and characters and stuff like that for for tomorrow at 8. And by the way, politics.
Rated M for mature.
Yoshandu presents Caves of Hell. Where am I? You're awake. Whoa, who was that? Whoa, wait a sec. Holy crap, I fell down in these caves. Shit. The rocks must have buried my exit. Looks like I'll have to find another way out. Yeah, sure, there's an exit. But there are many souls with weapons that are gonna be in your way. Oh my god, whoever this is. Holy shit, are you a ghost? Yes, you imbecile. I'm no imbecile. And what the hell did you mean by fucking ghosts and souls and guns? I want to get the hell out of here. What I meant was that a whole bunch of people from the past wars have died, and their skeletal bodies and souls still remain down here in these caves of hell, involving their guns. So you're telling me I have to go through a whole bunch of shit, shoot a whole bunch of fucking monsters, just to get the fuck out of this cave? This is another realm of hell. Don't be stupid. Well, I'm gonna go through hell to get out of this hellhole.
I need my fix. I need you to bring it to me tonight, because I already paid for it. Yes. Yeah, you better bring them both. I paid you $400 for that. Yeah, so you gotta bring it by tonight, man. I need that fucking orange paint. I need that orange paint, man. If it's worth your life, then it's worth your life. But I need you to hook me up with what I paid you for. I need